Uh, Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to present short chapter from the book Ethics of AI. And the chapter is called The Moral Physiology of AI and Ethical of Problem. So, for a long time, conversations about the AI have been split. Computer science focus most only on the code, while philosophers debate big ethical theories. So, this paper brings in third a very important view in human our physiology. The truth is, no matter how smart an algorithm is or how perfect a philosopher thinks, its technology must live in our world. I mean, with us, it should work or live with us. If the public doesn't trust it, they will simply refuse to use it. I mean, humans will not use it. It's not like a if it's not for humans. So today I will explain how human feelings and choice control the success of AI. Well, we will look at three real-world examples and then talk about how these issues affect our lives today. So uh, To start, let's look at how AI has changed. In the beginning, AI handled very low tasks. For example, it filtered our mails, Gmails, emails, so or uh, give us location like a short way, so short way, or recommended for us a playlist or musics. It was the beginning of the AI. If one of them, for example, GPS makes a mistake, so you just lose 10 or uh, 5 or 10 minutes in traffic. It's like a little bit annoying. So, however, today AI is moving to the areas that completely change human lives. Algorithms are now making decisions about who will survive in a car accident and how to save millions of lives even. So these are not just the math problems, they are deep moral choices which humans supposed to make. So uh, this brings us to the main idea of the authors, the ethical opt-out problem. When an algorithm makes a moral choice, the creators must decide on the set of rules. I mean, imagine like they ask the best ethics of experts and build a perfect system. The authors argue that if normal people look at the machine and find its action unacceptable, big problems may happen. Uh, People will choose the opt out, which means they uh, stop using the technology, this AI or this, I mean, machine. If people refuse to buy self-driving cars like it was in our lessons, like a Tesla's case, the technology becomes useless. So trying to make an AI mathematically perfect can actually destroy its real-world benefits if adoption drops to zero. So uh, let's look at our first example. Autonomous vehicles or self-driving cars like Tesla or like a BYD or big companies are starting to produce such kind of cars. So to study this research, often use a famous philosophical problem called the trolley problem. Imagine a self-driving car loses its uh, control or brakes or some part and it cannot stop. Like it's moving in a forest too fast toward the 5 or 10 pedestrians. Uh, the car only has two choices keep going and hit these people, or turn and hit one innocent person on the side, and which might also kill the driver to inside the car. So when you ask people, generally they take a practical view. They say the car should the car should try to save the most lives. It makes sense statistically. But when you ask those some people, would you buy a car programmed to sacrifice you or someone families or family to save stranger? So the answer will be like I changed to a clear no. This creates a social dilemma. We want other people to drive cars that save the most lives, but we want our own car to protect us at all costs. So now, technical companies often complain about these trolley examples. They said that talking about the rare or scary crash is a bad idea because it frightens the public and makes them lose trust in the self-driving cars. Uh, to see if this was true, the authors did an experiment and with 400 people in the US. So one group read about these scary ethical dilemmas first, and then answered the question about their trust in AI or self-driving cars. Okay. Another control group answered this question uh, because before reading these articles. Uh, so the results showed the zero negative impact. Talking openly about ethical problems doesn't scare the public. I mean, they know what they are going to face. In fact, trying to hide this choice from the public creates much more distract. So our second example is from medicine, kidney pair donation. Often a person wants to donate a kidney to a sick relative or someone, but their blood or tissue type doesn't match. Kidney pair donation algorithms solve this by looking at the huge database and matching multiple pairs of donors and patients, and in a long chain, everyone gets a match. So the math is complicated, but the ethical rules are simple to understand. Different organizations use different point systems to decide who gets a kidney first. Um, for example, should a young child always get priority or over an adult who is a better biological match? So if the public feels the algorithm is unfair, they will opt out by leaving the donor register. So, and the whole system will fail. I mean, the public will not believe the system. How this brings us to our third example: algorithms used in the court system. Many courts in the US use software like a tool called Compass. Yeah, Compass to predict if the defendant is likely commit another crime. This score helps judge to decide on bail or prison time. Like if he didn't anything before, he will get like 5 years. If he did something before, he will get 10 more years or 5 more years. Depend. It will decide this AI. Uh, so about 10 years ago, a news organization called the ProPublica checked this software and found a massive problem with the racial bias. I mean, when the algorithm made mistakes, it made them in a very unfair way. Like a black defendants who didn't commit any more crimes were wrongly get like a high risk, more than 40% of their time. On the other hand, white defendants who did commit crime were wrongly flagged as low risk. Like this caused a very huge public anger. So, but what the authors point out is a very important lesson about the data science. This unfairness comes from a mathematical paradox. Scientists have proved that if two groups have different historical crime rates, I mean, black and white people in the real world, an algorithm cannot be fair to both groups at the same time. Specifically, it cannot have equal predictive accuracy while also having the equal mistake rates. If you force the AI to make the exact same percentage of mistakes for both black and white defendants, the system is forced to explicitly use race as a factor to balance the number. But in the US, using race in court decisions is unconsciously. This is a massive deadlock. If the public thinks the software is structurally racist, they will reject using data tools in a government completely. Okay. So um, now that we have covered the main points, let's look beyond the paper and see how these ideas apply to our world today. Okay. The paper criticized that companies for keeping their software secret. Today, this black box problem is even bigger with advanced systems and large language models. Also, the ethical opt-out has changed. It's no longer just an individual consumer choice. Today, we see collective resistance. For example, like artists and writers are striking and boycotting AI models that use their data without permission or pay. Okay, the opt-out has truly become a social and political movement against the big companies. So, what are the main lessons we learned from this? Our first recommendation is that we must make AI ethics democratic. We cannot leave moral decisions only to software engineers or tech companies or to AI. Uh, we need to uh, we need to open discussions where regular citizens can see and vote on the rules that algorithms follow. Secondly, an algorithm used in a public service like hospitals or courts must be open source, so independent experts can like see what's right and or audit them for. But uh, finally, we must remember what that human morally changed our time. The rules we accept today might change in the 10 years. So AI system must be flexible so they can grow with us, with human values. So to conclude, the authors remind us that truth technology doesn't exist in a vacuum. An algorithm that technically perfect but ignores the human physiology will always be rejected by society. So the society will not uh, accept it. So that's it. Thank you for watching.